On chart row 8, you need to introduce the contrast colours for the bobbles. I've pre-cut my electric green and sulphur yarns here ready to join in on this row. So you need to work right up to where that contrast colour needs to be added into the work. So I'm working 5 stitches of garnet, then you need to purl 1 stitch using sulphur. So you do that by just placing the yarn under your thumb here to keep it steady, purl 1 stitch and leave the length of yarn and a short tail hanging at the back of the work. You then continue on across the row until you get to the point where you need to join in the electric green yarn. Just make sure everything's untangled there. Okay, so this is where we need to join in the electric green. We do the same that we did with sulphur. We purl 1 stitch, leave the tail and the length of yarn hanging on the wrong side of the work as you complete the row. As we turn the work around, you can see that the 2 contrast lengths of yarn have been joined into the work, ready to work chart row 9 where the bobble is knitted. And this is abbreviated in the pattern instructions as MB. So this is how you knit a contrast coloured bobble. You work right up to where the contrast yarn is in the work, in the row. Okay, here it is. So what we need to do first is take our old colour, our garnet, over to the left. So that we pick up the electric green from underneath and those 2 yarns cross. And then we're going to knit into the front, the back, oops, the back, the front and the back of that same stitch. Now you can see the electric green where it's been joined in has come a little bit looser. As we turn the work around, before we do anything else, I would suggest that you pull gently but firmly on the tail of electric green, just to tighten up where you join that in. Next, you're going to slip the first stitch purlwise and then purl those 3 stitches using electric green, and again I will just stop, give a firm but gentle pull on the tail of electric green, turn the work again so the right side is facing you, slip the first stitch knitwise, knit the 3 electric green stitches, and then you need to lift the 2nd, 3rd and 4th stitches off over the first. And do that very carefully, lifting them over with the point of the left needle. I would then again pull firmly on that tail at the back just to bring the bottom of the bobble in nice and tightly there. Then when you've finished, the tail of electric green, being the old colour, goes over to the left. You pick up your next, or the bobbin of garnet, the next bobbin here, knit 1 stitch, make sure the bobble is pushed firmly to the front, and just pull again, gently but firmly. To be a bit careful of felted tweed, it's quite a fragile yarn, so pull firmly but gently on both of the ends at the back of electric green just to tighten that up. And there you have your nice neat bobble. And then you continue across the row to the next bobble. And we repeat that whole process again, this time using sulphur yarn. And that's the row completed with the 2 contrast bubbles knitted nice and neatly. Now if we look at the reverse side of the work, you'll have your 2 lengths of yarn, your length of yarn and your tail for each of the bubbles here. I would suggest that you don't fasten these 2 ends together, which I would do by knotting. I would not do that until you've completed the whole square. The reason being that as you work the rest of the square, these ends or the bubbles could become a little bit loose, so you want to fasten them up right at the end when you're finished, when you're not handling the square anymore. And I would simply double knot the ends together and then cut them off quite short at the back of the work. Alternatively, you could leave them longer and darn the ends into the back of the bobble.